Thanks very much for having me today. I was born in Inverness. I actually travelled from London, so it's less glamorous than Inverness. So yeah, a bit taller. So today I want to talk about network APIs. A lot of what Sebastian and Julian talked about is underpinned by network API capabilities. It's seen as a new revenue generator for the telecoms industry, a new driver of innovation, and a new driver of improving the customer process. So we're going to talk about what network APIs are, some of the use cases, and the importance of the GSMA's open gateway in driving the overall uptake of network APIs. So, what are network APIs? They're really capabilities that allow software developers to have access to the range of network capabilities that telecoms companies offer, but also the data that telecoms companies hold. So it's a new way to generate revenue. So the telecoms company benefits from the network APIs and the monetization of them. The app developer benefits by integrating these capabilities into their own app and their own capabilities. The customer, is that better? The customer benefits as well from improvements in how they engage with the digital world. So what I've got on the screen here is 3 pockets of API use cases that are available now and where telecom companies and app developers are generating real revenue and growth at the moment. The focus of the main revenue is around identity APIs. And what I mean by identity APIs is where, say, for example, a bank is able to interrogate the systems of a telecoms company and prove that I, Stephen, am who I am. It could be to combat fraud, for example. It could be to authenticate that I am who I say I am. And it could be just as a way of simplifying the customer onboarding experience if you're logging in and onboarding to an e-commerce provider, for example. But the main revenue generator for network APIs at the moment is around fraud prevention. So we have banks, we have e-commerce companies buying these capabilities from the telecoms companies and integrating these capabilities into their apps and software systems. The second interesting capability is around location APIs. That's where you can identify the specific locality of a user or a device. It can be used to track assets. So you could have Formula One companies and teams tracking their expensive items as they travel around the world. It could be to control drones and fleets of drones, what Julian was just talking about earlier on. The other main category is around network quality. APIs is a really interesting area where an app can prioritize your traffic in the network. So for example, if you're on a Zoom call with your boss on the train and you have a bit of a dodgy connection, you can press a boost button on your phone or on the Zoom or on the Teams app that prioritizes your traffic and guarantees that connection for a defined period of time. It could be, say, 1 hour, it could be 30 minutes, and you will pay for that privilege. So that's just one use case where quality and network API driving that quality is being driven into multiple different use cases. It can be used in other scenarios like cloud and mobile gaming to guarantee bandwidth or low latency requirements. And another interesting use case coming up is point-of-sale devices. So if you have point-of-sale, like sum-up devices at beer tents, at Glastonbury Festival, or Formula One merchandise tents, a lot of these transactions are failing because the network can't process the transaction. But if you instigate a quad API that guarantees that traffic will go through, then the value is protected for the commerce retailer, for the drinks provider, and the beer tent gets that transaction and the value, and the customer goes away happy rather than disappointed. So these are the 3 main pockets of APIs that telecoms companies are working with developers right now. So network APIs are not something that individual telecom companies build typically and just go and sell them into the market. It's a scale game. What I mean by that is that if you're a global buyer of a network API, someone like TikTok, you don't want just a capability on the Vodafone network or the Proximus network. You want that capability available on all networks in a country, in a region. So if TikTok wants an age verify network API, it's coming to all of the telecom companies and wanting this capability at scale. And we'll come on to Open Gateway in a second, but they have a very important role here to bring all the telecom companies together, all of the markets together, to make sure we're bringing the same products to market to meet the needs of end developers like TikTok. So on the left, we've met with many of the large software houses, and we've gathered what they really want from telecoms companies. And these are the four main things. One is like product viability, which I've just said. So a minimum 75% coverage of that product in a specific market. So in Belgium, you want 2 to 3 of the 3 players offering the same capability. In the UK, you want all 3 or 4 players offering the capability, so you have 75% of the population covered. Reach, so again, these buyers are not thinking in-market, they're thinking cross-market, they're thinking regional, and often like Africa, continental type of coverage. Simplicity is really important. So the actual technical spec of the API needs to be standardized, it needs to be open, it needs to be consistent, because a developer only wants to work with one spec. It doesn't want to work with 4 specs from Vodafone, from Proximus, from Orange. It wants to work with one spec, make their life easy, and integrate with the telecom networks. What's Vodafone doing for this opportunity here? So on the right, so we collaborate with the main industry bodies here. Camara is about harmonizing the technical spec of the APIs. We've helped to establish a new joint venture, so that's Aduna. So we've worked with 10 to 12 of the large telcos worldwide to build a portal where we streamline the access of network APIs through one single portal, again, to make it easy for a developer to come and work with us. In my company, we have a dedicated network API team, so showing API leadership. We want to make it easy for a developer to come and work with us. In the past, the industry has made it very difficult for developers to come and work. So if we have one single team, one point of contact, single contracting, it makes it much easier for developers to come and work with us as an industry. So moving on to Open Gateway. So this is an initiative driven by the GSMA. So this is an industry body that works with all of the mobile players globally, and they have a critical role to play in driving the network API opportunity. The key thing here is around collaboration. If there's no collaboration in market, cross-market, there's not a network API business, effectively, because we will have no one buying the products. So GSMA works to bring the operators to the table, work to launch products at the same time in a consistent, standardized manner, working with Camara. It's really good at understanding developer needs, so it works with the large software houses. It talks to, I'm trying to think, like, the social media companies, Uber, sorry, that was the company I was trying to think of. Uber, it's meeting these companies. What do they need from telecom companies? What do they need in terms of use cases? What do they need to be built to meet the needs that they have for their app development? And the other key thing that I lead for Vodafone is the local market champion initiatives. So I lead that work in the UK, Spain, and Germany. So that's where we work together with all of the players in that market to collectively take products to market at the same time. So that meets the viable product requirement for the end developers. We're launching the same product at the same time, so that makes it more attractive to be sold and commercialized. Just lastly, around more future gazing. So we've seen Proximus talking about some of the future innovations around 5G. And really 5G and soon to be 6G will be underpinning a lot of the network API capabilities. So what we're looking at as a team is some interesting areas that I just want to visualize on the right-hand side here. One is around autonomous cars. That's, it's a reality in America, it's a reality in China. It's a little bit slow in Europe, but it is coming. So self-driving taxis, the ability to, for a rental car to be self-driven to your home, fleet management, all of these things are being worked on right now, and they will be coming in the next year or two in Europe. Smart cities, managing the traffic flows in a city in a smart way, keeping people safe. All of these things are being developed as we speak. And I think the most interesting one is to do with e-commerce. So we have something called Number Verify 2.0, which is coming in about 6 months' time. That will sunset SMS OTP, so that annoying thing where you get, you try and do a transaction online, you get a text message, you have to put in the passcode, and then the transaction completes. So that will all be sunset in about 6 months' time. It'll all be done seamlessly behind the scenes with Number Verify 2.0. The reason that it's taken a while to implement is because at the moment the system doesn't work for handsets at home connected on Wi-Fi. So we've had to work with Google and Apple to rectify that. And pleased to say that's all in hand, and the capability will be live, I'd say, in about 6 months' time. The last message from me here is really, if you're an operator, if you're a software developer, do get involved. There's huge growth potential here. Either do it directly with the GSMA, reach out to me, I can point you to the right people. Get your company involved. It's a scale game with APIs. It's a collaboration game. If there's no collaboration, there's no scale, there's no market. So we truly have to work together to drive the growth and create this new revenue stream for the industry. That's it from me.
Thank you very much indeed. That's Stephen Pater. Thank you, Stephen.